Good morning, students. Our next lesson is Emerging Political Trends 1977 to 2000. In the previous classes, we have discussed about in the independent India, the first 30 years. Okay, between 1977 to 2000. So many changes came after independence. Also, so many changes came. In the beginning, the Congress party itself formed the government without the help of other parties. It became the single majority party. So that situation was changed later. So because of that, multi-party system was established in India. So no single party was able to form a government on its own. And we have a series of coalition governments. What is the meaning of coalition governments? If any single party unable to form the government, it can form the government with the help of other parties. We are seeing such type of governments in central and state levels in different states. Okay, and this period also we can see more developments, industrial and political developments. Okay, so at the same time, old issues like religious and caste differences are repackaged and reused for political mobilization. So most of the states, even example in uh, Tamil Nadu, okay, and Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, not only those, in our state also. At the time of elections, the political parties use the religious and community issues to gain in politics. Okay, in this chapter we can discuss how those showed impact on the fundamental values of constitution like democracy, unity, and integrity, and social and economic changes. So different people have different opinions on this. We can listen and we can discuss with them. Okay, so next, return of democracy after emergency. Already you know that Indira Gandhi imposed emergency in 1975. Okay, first emergence was imposed in the India uh, in 1962 to 1968 because of war with China. So that is the external problem. But in between 1975 1977, 21 months emergency was imposed by the Indira Gandhi. Okay, so later by electing Rajiv Gandhi, so the historic that situation was changed again. Means the democracy was restored in our country. Okay, so at that time the Congress was more powerful in our country. So later we introduced multi-party system in our country. Okay, voters also have a chance to choose their representatives in multi-party system. Okay, it also allowed many different political viewpoints. So in our country, different political viewpoints are there, like socialists, Hindu nationalists, communists, as well as sectional interests like those of farmers, Dalits, backward caste, and religious, among others, now came to the fore and asserted their claims. And at the same time, not only political and economical changes, at the same time number of non-political movements also started in our country, like environment movements, feminist movement, civil liberation movement, literacy movements, and etc. So, because of all these, different social changes came in our country. Next, 1977 elections and the end of emergency. Already we discussed the emergency continued 25th June 1975 to uh, 21st March 1977. So total 21 months. After that, elections were announced by the Indira Gandhi in January 1977. So no one was expected that. So all were surprised by that decision. Okay, even the other political leaders who are uh, imprisoned at the time of emergency were released by Indira Gandhi. Okay, even she removed censorship as well as all other regulations in place which restricted freedom of movement, campaigns, and meetings. So the major opposition parties, so at the time of 1977 elections, decided to come together to challenge the Congress. So the Congress wo Swatantra Party, Bharatiya Janata Sangh, the Bharatiya Lokdal, and the Socialist Party decided to merge together and form the Janata Party. Janata means People's Party. So some Congress leaders, important Congress leaders like Jagjivan Ram, Jagjivan Ram came out from the Congress party and joined the anti-Congress front. The other major opposition parties like DMK, this is belongs to Tamil Nadu, and SAD belongs to Punjab, and CPI-M. So these parties not joined with the Janata Party, but they maintained their separate identity, and those were supported the Janata Party in a common front against the Congress. So senior leaders like Jayaprakash Narayan and Acharya J.B. Kripalani played an important role in the beginning, um, uh, in the beginning of the bringing together all the anti-Congress and anti-emergency parties to fight the elections. So it should be noted that some of these parties had democratically opposite viewpoints on social and political issues, even though they became united to fight against the Congress party. So those were historic elections for the Indian democracy. So the Congress party was defeated at the national level for the first time, and the Janata Party came to power. Mr. Neelam Sanjeev Reddy was unanimously elected as Speaker of 6th Lok Sabha on 26th March 1977. At the time of Janata Party, Morarji Desai was the Prime Minister. So he was the first non-Congress Prime Minister. So after independence, the first time Indian National Congress was defeated, and other non-Congress government was established in our country. So later, the Neelam Sanjeev Reddy was elected as a speaker. Later, he was elected unopposed, the only president of India to be elected, being unanimously supported by all political parties, including the opposition Congress Party, and so on, as the sixth President of India on 25th July 1977. At the time of Abdul Kalam also there was a elections conducted. But here, no, without elections, the Neelam Sanjeev Reddy became the sixth President of India on 25th July 1977. Okay, so during this time, Neelam Sanjeev Reddy had to work with three governments under Prime Ministers Morarji Desai, Charan Singh, and Indira Gandhi. So at the time of Neelam Sanjay Reddy period. So there was three governments in central. Okay, the victorious Janata Party attempted to consolidate itself by dismissing nine Congress governments in the states after mm, winning in the elections. So the Janata Party dismissed the nine Congress governments in the states in 1977. That was against the democratic policy actually. So those nine Congress governments have more majority in those states, even though after these elections, the Janata Party argued that they in the central elections, Janata Party was won. Means the Congress Party lose their sub power in those states. Okay, so was the central government justified in dismissing state governments even if they enjoyed majority in their assemblies just because the party ruling in those states had been defeated in the parliamentary elections? The Janata Party argued that the Congress Party had lost its mandate to rule in the state as it had been defeated. So that is not good. But immediate elections in nine states, so that was proved. Okay, its stance was somewhat vindicted by its victory in Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, and Bihar, and the victory of CPIM in West Bengal and DMK in Tamil Nadu. Okay, you can see here some political parties or opposition parties at the time of those elections. BLD, Bharatiya Lokdal, a party which was formed by socialists who called for special attention to Indian farmers based mainly in Uttar Pradesh. So Congress O. So Congress O means that is the another part of the Congress, the conservative section of the Congress, which had opposed the policies of Indira Gandhi. CPIM, Communist Party of India. So M means Marxist, a party with a national presence with stir for radical land reforms, trade unions, and socialist policies. DMK, already know, it is belong to Tamil Nadu. Dravida Munnetra Kachagam, a party based mainly in Tamil Nadu, which sought greater autonomy and powers for the state. Janasangh, a Hindu nationalist party, largely confined to the northern states. SAD, Shiromani Akali Dal, so a party based in Punjab, catering especially to the Sikhs and organized around Gurudwaras. It therefore had a semi religious character. It was also in favor of greater autonomy to the states. We can see three parties at present also: CPIM, SAT, and DMK. So, next. So, the Janata Party had come to power, promising a restoration of democracy and freedom from authoritarian rule. So, later, because of disunity among the parties, okay, so these all parties united for power and against the Congress only, but they have a differences between those parties. Okay, so the factional struggle in the party soon culminated in the fall of the government within 3 years, leading to fresh elections in 1980. So, in the 1980 elections, the Congress returned to power in 1980. The Congress immediately paid back the Janata in the same coin by dismissing the Janata and non-Congress governments in nine states. So, what the Janata Party did after elections, The same thing done by Congress after 1980 elections. Those were also dismissed the Janata governments in 9 states. So the Congress was victorious in all the states except Tamil Nadu and West Bengal in by-elections. Okay. Next, these actions of both the Janata Party and Congress governments weakened the federal principles and backed a more centralizing position. Already, what is the meaning of federal system? So, federal systems means in our India we are having two types of governments: central governments and state government. State governments have their own autonomy powers. The central government should not interfere the internal affairs of the state governments, but those conditions are overcome by these parties. Okay, this was accompanied by some serious challenges to national unity too. The people of many states felt alienated and wanted either greater autonomy from the center or even wanted to go separate from India itself. The non-Congress regional parties like SAD and DMK meanwhile attempted to come together to form a common front in support of greater, say, national level decision making, greater financial autonomy, lower interference in state matters, and stopping the misuse of the power of the governor and arbitrary imposition of president rule. So those were fought against those decisions. Okay. So what is the meaning of president rule? So as per the provisions of the constitution, article 356, the governor of a state can recommend it to the president the dismissal of a state government and even dissolution of a state assembly if he or she is convinced that the government is not able to administer the state as per the constitution. So every state, one governor will be appointed. So what is the duty of the governor? So they will observe either that state is administrating as per the constitution or not. So by using those powers, they can recommend to the president the dismissal of a state government at any time. Okay. So the president may then, on the advice of the prime minister, dismiss the state government and order the governor to take over the administration of the state. So at the time of Janata Party and after 1980, the Congress Party used these powers and dismissed the state governments at the time. Since there was no clear guidelines in the constitution in this regard, many central governments often misused Article 356 to harass and dismiss state governments held by opposition parties. So in Andhra Pradesh also at the time of NTR, so they imposed this in our state. So in 1974, in an important judgment, the Supreme Court laid down strict norms for the use of Article 356 by the central government. Since then, such misuse of this power has become rare. Okay, so some guidelines issued by the Supreme Court. So when the president rule is imposed, clear. So next part of the lesson we will discuss tomorrow. Thank you.